All right, Murphy and I are gonna quickly show you how to teach our dogs to walk and then get a sit on the side. Now I made one video before where my hand signal was like flat hand up, palm up, where I went in front of the dog like this and asked for a sit. But what happened is some dogs that have a tendency to jump, they kind of saw that as an invitation. So I'll show you a different way if you have a dog that loves to jump a lot. So instead of my hand being like this in front of the dog and up, it will now be, and I have some treats in my hand and I hide them under my thumb. I will instead use the palm of my hand right in front of my dog. So like stop, and I can even give him a treat if you want, but now he's attached to my hand because there's treats in it. And then I say sit. Oh, sit, yes, good job. So two different ways. You can either do like this, sit, yes, good, or there, stop, sit, yes. Now, what I like about the hand right in front of my dog like this, to stop them from moving forward so they can stop and then I can ask for the sit, is I feel like it's a great start of a stop behavior. So I don't want my dogs to do an automatic sit when I stop. Some people love that and that's great. I just don't want it because I do my creative movement where I don't want an automatic sit when I stop. I just want them to actually pay attention, and I would prefer more like a stop, and then I can always ask for a sit. And also, you know, when I'm out walking my dogs and if I stop at a light section or something like that, I want my dogs to stop. I don't need for them to sit, especially if it's icy and it's snowy or rain or anything like that. I just prefer stop. But I also want, when I say stop, I want them to understand that a stop is a standing position that you hold until released. So that's an important part of it. But that's something that we can teach also with this. But first things first, and that is we're walking our dogs and we prepare them ready, stop, sit. Yes. Now remember when we sit, yes, we immediately work, yes, on duration and position. So we hold it until I say, okay, let's go. This is important, right? We don't want our dogs to just think sit is just for a second and then they release themselves again. It is important with some impulse control and some patience. So we're going to do this again. I'm going to have one or two treats in my hands, under my thumb, walk with my dog. Hey, and say the dog's name. Murphy, ready, stop. Sit. Yes. Good boy. And we hold it. Good. Yes. Good. Okay, let's go. Let me try and do it from the side and see if then that you can see that. If you're ready, stop, sit. Yes. Now, when you stop, yes, your hand has to be in front of the dog. Yes. That way, where they're looking, not towards you, not out here. Your hand position determines where the dog's head is, which then determines where the rest of the body is. This is important to remember, right? So really try and get that hand right in front of them. So when they stop, ready, stop. Their shoulders are right next to your legs. Sit. Yes. Good. Yes. Good. Free. Good job. Very nice. If I were to work on the stop, what I would do is I would never ask for the sit. So I'm just going to reward for duration in the standing position when I say my stop. So what that would look like is stop. Yes. 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 Good. Okay, let's go. Does that make sense? So one is just stop means stop moving, stand still, hold it as I'm keep feeding my dog so he or she can hold it until released. And the other one is stop and then a sit, and then we work on duration and that. A few issues I've seen, and that is when people do the stop sign, sometimes what happens is your hand is up too high. So you might do like stop. And what happens is now he knows the word stop, so that's why he stopped. But most dogs, especially as puppies, will run under your hand. And so now they're not in position. So make sure it is right down in front of where your dog's nose is, right there. Yes, good job. And then you can ask for the sit. Now I'm also using treats in my hand to make sure the dog, it gets attached to my hand. So he will follow my hand signal when I start raising it up and asking for the sit. So work with both. Walk in with stop and walk in with stop to a sit. Both ending positions should be worked with duration and position, so the dog starts understanding the difference between a stop and a sit. All right, so you have now practiced just stop and stop to a sit with treats in your hand. Now it's time to fade out that lure, right? So you have nothing in your hand. So you come, be ready, stop. Yes. Then you get it out of your pocket or treat pouch. Yes. And your dog will hold position because they expect that based on what you've done earlier. Yes. He's looking at me, but notice I'm still feeding him here in front where he's looking. Good. Okay, let's go. That was the stop. The same with the stop to a sit. Ready? Stop, sit. Yes. As my dog, yes, good, free, gets stronger with the verbal cue alone, I don't have to have my hand right in front of his face. So I can take some support away. I can use verbal cue and alone, or maybe just with a little bit of a hand signal. So this is how my sit actually looks. I don't even use the stop for the sit anymore. It kind of just gets mixed in with one another, so to speak. So when I say stop, he knows to stop. So I'll try and do this here from the side. Murphy, ready? Stop. Yes. So his cue in a way is, of course, I prepare him, I say the verbal cue stop, but I'm also stopping moving at the same time. So that's kind of good boy, free. Here's the thing, if I don't have his attention, I don't get the nice behavior I'm asking for. So always prepare, get the attention. For my sit, I actually get his attention. Murphy, Murphy, ready? Sit. Yes. So I don't even have my hand down for a stop first. I ask for the sit. But if I don't want to sit, I would say stop. Now, let me test it and see what Murphy actually will automatically do if I don't say anything and I'm just stopping. I'm actually curious about that. Let's see. Ready? Yes, good. He decided to do the stop, and that's because that's the one free we worked on the most. So I was curious about that. So remember, you work with the treats in your hands until you have done it enough times so your dog has been successful. You take some support away and first take the treats away, so they just work on the hand signal. Of course, they still get rewarded when they offer the right behavior, but we don't have to treats as a lure in our hands anymore. And then when they can do that, then you start taking your hand signal, you like your hands away a little by little. So they're not relying on hands anymore, but more so on verbal cue. So have fun with that.